Hello and welcome, the pedal people. Henning Pauli here, in case you didn't know that. Today we're looking at another DSM Humboldt, that's a very complicated company name, pedal from Chile. That's from over there, where sometimes it's not chilly, it's warm. It's not in any way funny, it's spelled completely differently. So they make these direct pedals, right? The Simplifier and then the Simplifier X, which is a big-ass pedal. It's got different channels, and you've got different cap simulations, and you've got loops and XLR outs. You've got all these options, and it's all analog. Therefore, nothing digital. Therefore, no latency, different kind of reliability, no software updates and all that. So they're doing these amp sims, but are they sims? They are analog solid state amps with filtering for cap simulation that sound very convincing. Now, the Simplifier X is big, it's complicated, several channels, and it's got a little bit of a, you gotta know a lot about certain things, how power amp works, and then you go to a different power amp simulation or circuit, and you gotta know a lot to make it work. There's a learning curve. Now, because they haven't had that sound in the Simplifier X or the Simplifier, they have a Dumble style pedal called the Dumblifier, which makes total sense. And I feel if you've ever worked with a Dumble style amp or simulation, like UA or whatever, or a pedal, before, this is pretty self-explanatory. And it gives you all the options of what DSM Humboldt usually gives you, but in a small, super sexy looking, great sounding package without having to know some of the intricacies like on the Simplifier X. So for me, this is actually even better, even though what they had before was already great. So we start this video, like all of them, before we get to anything, we'll take it out of the box and see how it comes. Now, that taking out of the box wasn't a super realistic representation of how you take it out of the box, because there wasn't even a manual, because I have a pre-production unit. So what's in the real box? Are there feet and manual and stickers? Probably. I don't know. So let's look at some product shots and some sounds before we get to anything else. Now, what I like to do with a pedal, amp, guitar, or whatever, to get to know it, I like to put it in a realistic context. I like to spend a day producing a song, working with it, to see how does it stack up. And I need a bit more gain. Can it do that? I need it a bit fatter. In working with it in a song, in a style that's probably where that piece of gear would live, I can learn a lot for what's coming in this video and to present it to you. So no, this song is not available anywhere. It is an AI-generated song where I stripped everything other than the vocals. I kept the vocals and did my own thing with it. So drums, bass, all the guitars is all the Dumblifier, in this case played with a beautiful Duesenberg Joey Landreth guitar. And I had a blast doing this kind of modern, I would say, up-tempo John Mayer-y, Jason Mraz kind of a thing. It's a style of music that I don't do a lot and that I'm not super familiar with, so it was a great challenge to play those bass parts and also play all these rhythms as tight as I possibly could to make it groove. So enjoy Divided.
Space, we're all a jury, throwing words around like stones. At a neighbor they stop knowing, at a face behind the screen. Picking sides and keep on going, in a game we play to we are divided, drawn in chalk across the floor, and we can't find it. The common ground we had before. We are divided, cause of slogans, rotten core, and we need to fight it. So let this be our only war, cause I just want something worth fighting for. Strong hands closing into fists now, old friends turning into foes. Tiny differences get twisted into something big and gross. Every flag up in the window, every post that says I'm right, feels like fuel on all the embers in a never-ending night. We are divided, drawn in chalk across the floor, and we can't find it. The common ground we had before. We are divided, cause of slogans, rotten core. We need to fight it, so let this be our only war. Turn the volume down a little, let the echo fade. Under all the angry talking, there's a heart afraid. If we looked up from our corners, would we recognize that the hope we think is missing is still in each other's eyes? We are divided, drawn in chalk across the floor, and we can't find it. The common ground we had before. We are divided, cause of slogans, rotten core, and we need to fight it. So let this be our only war, cause I just want something worth fighting for.
Now, in that song, most of what you heard was clean, and I really didn't touch the pedal too much. Just small adjustments, and that was enough. Maybe change the cab or something. Then, of course, the more driven parts were on the gain channel. So, let's look at the pedal. It immediately tells you, I'm a fucking Dumble! I mean, the wooden sides, absolutely beautiful. I mean, Leslie can show it from a couple different angles. This is actual wood, made by hand as far as I understand. That rhymes. And in the good old DSM Humboldt tradition, they frickin' packed it full of features, ins and outs, everything that a professional tool for your pedal board probably the last tool on your pedal board before it goes to front of house, would do. It's absolutely amazing. And there's Landon Bailey again. Hey Landon, if you're watching, he always pings into these videos, hoping I will mention him. Landon Bailey, check out the channel, great channel. So even though this time it looks less techy, they just nailed it with the user interface. Now we have 3 foot switches on the front, and you can see the front is angled if we look at it from a different angle. Yeah. So we have these foot switches, and they are soft clickies. This one gets stuck a little bit. Again, I have a pre-production model. These are super soft, super soft. And this one, there's a little bit of I need extra pressure because I think it gets internally stuck on something. I don't think it's supposed to. So we got on-off channel switching, nicely illuminated right here, but also up there. I like that they're doing it on both sides. And here, you either have the preamp boost, the PAB, or you're switching the reverb on and off. Very nice. It's bugging me that that's getting stuck. But again, that's likely a bad switch that you're not going to have. So then, just like on the Dumble, we have jazz and rock. I'll never have it on the jazz setting. It's too weak and too thin. We're going to go for it, but usually I have it on the rock setting. We have the mid boost, which pushes up the body of your sound, which I usually have in. And we have a bright switch, just like on a Dumble. How do I know what a Dumble style amp is like? I mean, who actually has a Dumble? Well, we have, of course, simulations. The new Neural John Mayer suite is fucking amazing, right? But, well, follow me. That's the Amplified Nation Bombshell Overdrive. That's literally a €4,500 Dumble clone from Amplified Nation, with all the pros and cons. For example, the overdrive can't be switched on the amp. You have to reach into the back and switch it in the back. Or the preamp boost. It's got all the negatives of the old Dumble amp, but it is as Dumbly as can be. And I know what that thing sounds like. So, I'm familiar with the type of amp. We have the EQ. Clean volume. Got quite a bit of headroom there. That's what the amp is known for. The overdrive, and the ratio is really just an overdrive volume, right? Then we got the master and the presence. This time around, nothing super complicated about the power amp. It is what it is. And then we have, for left and right, you can pick different speakers. It could widen your stereo spectrum if you so choose. I go for the same thing left and right. We've got a 412, a 112, and a 212. And again, pickable, choosable for left and right individually. And then within those speaker sizes, you can go for a G12M, a, don't ask me, G12H, or that's an Electro Voice, or EV12L. I don't know what that means. It's probably classic Dumbly things. I think I ended up to be up here, but of course we're going to switch it back and forth. So that's your front end. Relatively easy to understand if you know what an amp does, and especially if you know what a Dumble does. Now on this side, which we have a camera from the back on, it's a very difficult pedal to shoot. Now this is your reverb level. You can turn the reverb on and off here if you want to. And 3 different settings. That's a plate, and I think an ether, so ethereal or very, very big reverb, or a room, just for a little bit of room. And that's very good to make it more realistic. This is your aux level, right? And you can say whether the aux goes to the headphones or also to the DI out. So if you have like a backing track, you can pump that to the front of house. If you have a click track, you could only have that in your headphones, but not front of house. Very, very smart. Talking about the aux, over here on that side, aux in, headphone out, and here's a set of outputs. So that's 1/4 inch outs. It's amazing. It has 1/4 inch outs in addition to the XLR. And you can individually, for the left and right, say whether the cap simulation is on or off. So you could go to your own IR loader with this while using this to go somewhere else. And it's a different kind of cab. But you could turn the cab stem off and apply an IR loader if you wanted that. In the back, we have XLR. In between them down there is a ground lift. There's 9 volt. This is the return for the stereo return for the effects loop, and that's your send. So mono send, stereo return. In this case, it is going to the layer delayer by Ibanez, which is on the table right here, which is a stereo delay. And we should probably turn that stereo. Done. So, leaves that side of the pedal. That is where you plug in your guitar. And there's also a input boost. So there's a off, there's a boost a little bit, and then there's boost a lot a bit. There's dBs or whatever, but who cares? So you can actually boost your input. So that's a way to make your signal fatter or get more gain. And then on top of the pedal, there's of course the preamp boost, the pub, which you can do in addition to that, then of course your gain. So there's a lot of gain staging. There is the input boost, there's the preamp boost, and then there's your actual settings, right? Now we're getting to sounds, and then you get into whether or not you want to buy this thing or not. And that's then, of course, totally up to you. And obviously, this video is sponsored by DSM Humboldt, or in this case, actually, the distributor Musifacts. So thank you, Musifacts. Hey, Luca. But obviously, whatever they want me to say, I'm not going to say. I say whatever I want to say. I mean, you know, I already like it. But again, these are honest reviews. If you don't believe that, what are you doing here? Schecter. Nick Johnston signature, 3 single coil guitar. Can you play it with humbuckers? You've heard it with humbuckers in the track. Yes, you can. Are you getting humbuckery sounds? Yes. Did a lot of people play Dumbles with Strats? Yes. So that's why I'm using this beautiful Schecter Nick Johnston custom shops on the Diamond series. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. One of my favorites. And we're going to go into this pedal. And we are starting on no input boost. Let's turn all this off. It's not going to be the sound I want. And the preamp boost off. But it's going to be... let me move this mouse. But it is what the pedal can sound like. There's almost no sound. Yeah, you need to get a bit more meat on this puppy, right? I can't do this. It's easy, it's an A and an E. So let's boost the input by a little bit. And a little bit. Then of course we're taking the levels down. So back to 0 on the input. Backing off here. Now if you kick in the rock setting, you can hear it waking up. On my amp, I have the rock on, and that's it. I've got the rock on. So, the Bride. It's not too much. Nice. And then the mid's in. So that's how I would set it up. More input. It's amazing that is an analog pedal, no digital anything. It feels extremely good on the fingers. Guitar might need some intonation. So, we're here, and then even more input boost all the way. Let's go to the single input boost. And now the preamp boost. Now, Dumble is known for very, very thick, clean tones, right? It has been described as not the most chimey amplifier for rhythms, because it's so thick, but when you want to play those clean leads, it just thickens your guitar, which is why a Strat, which is a thinner guitar with a single coils, is a perfect combination for the Dumble. Switch the reverb to the plate setting and crank it up a bit. That's thick, that's amazing. Wonderful. Even if that thing never drives, as a clean platform, it's ridiculous. So let's stay here. Let's explore the EQ for a bit. does nothing. It does something. Pretty sure that the preamp boost goes around the EQ. I think it does that on the amp as well. Yeah, the EQ works if the preamp boost is not engaged. And it's just been Christmas. Get it? Presents. And master volume, of course. It's just breaking up a little bit there. Now on my Amplified Nation amp, it's not very pleasant when the clean channel breaks up. And here it's more pleasant, but not very. That's what the other channel is for. Oh, we were exploring the reverbs as well. Let's go to the ether, which is amazing. That's neat sauce. And that room is exactly what you need to get that cab kind of in the room, right? So let's go to the cab selection. 212. A little bit more mid-humpy. Compared to 412. One side only. And 112. Okay, other speaker. Essentially what you're doing is you're moving EQ around, right? So the cab size is a form of EQ and the speaker kind is a form of EQ. So you have preset EQ curves to give you an estimation of different speakers, which is nice. It gives you options. So that's just a little bit more rounded off on top, which is where I had it set and where I like it. Of course, with distortion, that's going to be more pronounced. That being said, let's go to the other channel. Dumbles have a lot of gain, they can. Super thick, juicy, saturated drive for those screaming leads, but again with a lot of body. But the great thing here is this. Damn, is it dynamic? It's ridiculous. Oopsie. Let's turn on the layer delay. Actually, I already did. That's it. There's a lot. There's cleans. There's wiry cleans if you want them. There's thick clean leads. There's XLR out in that size. I mean, that size, and caps without cap simulation if you so choose individually. Quarter inch out. There's aux in, there's selection for where the aux goes, headphones or front of house. There's a stereo effects loop as you heard, you know. Hey. Oh, wait, that was a... I turn that on and then... Stereo. Wait. Here we go. It's a stereo effects loop. You get the point. And I'm going straight into my interface. The track that you heard was that thing and the guitar straight into the interface. Done. That's what you heard. Can you make music with this? Hell yeah. So, does it sound like a Dumble? I mean, yes, we could go back and forth between the Amplified Nation and don't have a real Dumble because, you know, I'm not rich like that. But I trust me when I tell you, feels like it, delivers the goods. Is it exactly like my Amplified Nation amp? That through the aux? No, that's a real tube amp. That'll give you a different feeling. That'll give you the feeling that you own an amp for $4,500 and that you better freaking play the right notes. To get the job done, honestly, if you play the right notes, the Dumblifier will do the same thing. It cleans up beautifully. Love the interface, love the size, love the wooden sides. Don't know the price. Now, this might be prohibitively expensive. I can't tell you. I'm going to say it could be $399. It could be $449, which would all be fine for what it does. If it's $799, I think we have a problem, Houston. But I don't think so. I actually think this is DSM Humboldt's best pedal to date, and they already made great pedals. So, all that being said, links below, use them to support the channel. If you don't want this pedal, don't use those links. Actually, use those links and buy something else. If you don't have money to buy something, don't buy something else. You know, I like your support, but I don't want you to go hungry. Because you're like, no, I had to buy some pedal because Henning said so, but now the kids can't have lunch. No, don't do that. If you want to support the channel, please use the links. Whatever you buy. But if you want to buy this, buy this. Thanks, Music Facts and DSM Humboldt for your support. And I'll put animals at the end as always.
You lost the ground beneath your feet. You lost your balance and foundation. You feel your misery's complete. You've reached the peak of your frustration. But when everything goes south and the walls come crashing down, remember nothing's built to last. This too shall pass. Now that everything's been burned, there's something rising from the wreckage. The wheel of fortune somehow